time in any airport in America. And you'll hear a voice overhead telling you about all the security measures that the airport adheres to, in the interest of homeland security. Knowing that the airport is trying to keep everyone safe. Then the task of taking off your shoes, unpacking your bags, holding your hands over your head, getting a full body scan or even a pat-down from an unfriendly agent in blue makes the procedure just a little more bearable. What's not bearable is the notion that it might all be in vain if the very people who want to kill us are slipping into this country under our very noses. President Trump set out to fix the problem with his travel ban, making it more difficult for those from the nations that fund terrorism to enter the United States. However, this is still unacceptable to some. For whatever the reason, liberals are up in arms about the idea that the US doesn't have its arms thrown open to all Muslims, regardless of their intentions. The concept that our nation shouldn't let anyone entering is ludicrous, especially considering that we're still a nation at war. However, the implementation of the Trump administration travel ban is still causing a stir. According to The Intercept, those from the nations highlighted in the travel ban are not happy about these new security measures. Global entry memberships on January 31st and February 1st for citizens of Iran, Iraq, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, and Syria, and Yemen, the countries included in the first iteration of Trump's travel ban, according to CBP documents released to ADC. But the numbers don't add up, said Free, noting that 10 of ADC's 30 clients were not included in CBP's list, which identified travelers using their global entry traveler numbers. The Department of Homeland Security, CBP's parent agency, also provided conflicting information to 9 senators who sent a letter to then DHS Secretary John Kelly inquiring about global entry revocations for Muslim travelers. DHS sent a memo to New Jersey Democratic Sen. Cory Booker, one of the letter's signatories, claiming that 419 memberships were revoked following Trump's January 27th order. The memo, which was released to The Intercept, also says all the memberships were reinstated February 2nd. Hundreds of travelers with a Muslim, Arab, or South Asian background whose global entry clearances were revoked, in what lawyers and civil rights activists say is a de facto extension of the Trump administration's Muslim travel ban. The American Arab Anti-Discrimination Committee in August and October obtained emails and documents through the Freedom of Information Act confirming that CBP revoked global entry memberships for hundreds of travelers from Arab and Muslim-majority countries, many of them U.S. citizens. Earlier this year, an ADC's own records showed that the number of revocations exceeds what CBP has acknowledged. Global Entry is one of the 4 CBP trusted traveler programs that allow vetted U.S. citizens, lawful permanent residents, and nationals from 9 countries expedited entry through airport security and customs. In order to obtain global entry clearance, applicants must provide biometric records and undergo interviews and background checks. Days after President Donald Trump signed a hotly contested executive order restricting immigration from 7 Muslim-majority countries, about 30 Muslim and Arab travelers in the United States reported to ADC that CBP revoked their global entry clearances, according to immigration attorneys Andrew Free and Greg Siskind, who filed a lawsuit on ADC's behalf. What has happened, in practice, is that people who were once able, by the virtue of global entry, to escape the constant racial and ethnic profiling they faced when traveling have now been suddenly, and without explanation, denied that privilege. Free told The Intercept, the only thing they all have in common is that nothing has changed in their own personal situations, and, of course, the reality of their own identities. In March, ADC filed the FOIA request with CBP for emails that contained the terms Muslim, Arab, Muslim ban, and travel ban. CBP did not timely respond to the request, so ADC filed a lawsuit in April. On October the 6th, nearly 6 months later, CBP released records to the ADC. The response, Free said, is incomplete and misleading. For example, CBP only turned over emails from a single CBP manager's email account, and they did not contain any of the keywords included in ADC's request. CBP also has not conducted requested email searches that would reveal whether the agency issued any internal policies or memoranda on or after November 9, 2016, relating to the suspension, revocation, or cancellation of global entry memberships. The thing about being at war with another group is that by definition, you are discriminating against them. As General Patton so famously pointed out, the object of war isn't to die for your country. It's to make the other person die for theirs, and in order to do that we have to know who they are. We didn't start this war. If you recall, they started it when they attacked the United States. We are in a war with terrorism, and we are discriminating against people from countries that fund what we are at war with. It's not an evil plot, it's just the basics of how to win a war. If we didn't discriminate against anyone, we would have to accept traitors into our midst, and that would be crazy.